Hi Floss Tube, my name's Dana and my channel name is Gemstone Stitches. I am here between Christmas and New Year's Eve 2023 to do a WIP parade, and in the process of doing the WIP parade it will be an update as to what I have stitched over or since the last video. Real quick before we get started though, I did want to share an FFO that I was able to manage. I'm going to put a picture in because I already have it on the wall with like those Velcro hanging tabs because I didn't want to put a hole in my cabinet. This is just kind of a wooden board that was a raw natural wood that I found at Hobby Lobby, and I painted it with some brown, like kind of a coppery bronzy brown, and then I brushed a little bit of gold onto it to give it a little shimmer, and I just laced the finish onto mat board and placed it in the tray. So that hangs up by our coffee machine. It's Coffee Quaker, the Magical Elixir. I am happy to have that up and displayed. I've been thinking about that for a few years now, so it's finally there. Also on my trip to Hobby Lobby, I found this frame. It says be your own kind of beautiful, but what it's actually going to be used for is this pumpkin finish I have. So I hope to FFO this in the next few months so that I can have it up in 2024. And then the last frame I got was for my Long Dog Sampler Spirit of Fairyland finish. This big one. I just kind of have it around the cardboard backing right now to make sure it fits in the frame, and it does. It's very big. So what I want to do, I ordered this one online at Michael's. What I want to do is I want to block it because I feel like it might slightly be warped, and rewash it, re-iron it before I try to, I don't know, lace it myself. It's a huge one. I've never done something that large, so that one's intimidating. I'm not exactly sure if I'm going to be able to manage that myself, but we shall see. One day when I'm feeling ambitious, I'll get to that one. Okay, so here's the WIP parade. I have 18 WIPs. I wrote them all down in order that I started them, or oldest to newest. So first is Peacock Daze by Heaven and Earth Design. Artwork by Josephine Wall. This is my only HAID that I have started. I have one other HAID that I'll start one day maybe. Here is where I am. I was able to finish the last 2 pages on the second row over here. Lots of confetti. The whole project is confetti. But it was really nice to get back to this project. I believe I'm 30% done. 30.3, no, 35% done. I remember I'm just over a third of the way done on it. It's not a huge HAID, but it's big enough. So I'm about right here. The next couple of rows are going to be fun because they're going to get into her face. This is a little castle right here. So that is WIP number 1. I'm stitching that 28 count 1/1 full crosses. The next project I have is something I started during Stitch Mania back in 2015, 2016. And it's just one that has hung out since then. I did the little bitty 1-day start and I have not touched it since. It's called Book of Days by the Drawn Thread. So this is definitely one I am going to work on in 2024, and I'm going to finish it, and it's going to no longer be a WIP. That's a goal. I just have that one little bitty flower that was started in the corner here. So in my plans, I do have this to come out 2 to 3 times, I believe, in hopes of finishing it. The next WIP, again, is something I did during that Stitch Mania, and this one I don't have planned to even work on. Maybe one day, I don't know. But it's Northern Expressions Needlework. It's both of these. These are WIP 3 and 4. Is October and July. I also purchased September and May for my daughters. I don't know. I thought maybe I'll never finish these or do anything with them, but then recently I watched a video of somebody who did the month of June, and it was gorgeous, just gorgeous. So it made me sort of want to work on them at some point. But this is just my mini starts. These are a bunch of little queen stitches. It's 40 count. And this, they're not cross stitches, they're a different kind of stitch. Just a specialty stitch of some sort. So I'm thinking one day, and I probably will put it on a larger count than 40 count because it's just too small and it's hard to notice the little details. The next one is one of my favorites, and I have it as a goal to finish in 2024. It's also Northern Expressions Needlework, Esther's Waves. I have all the stitching portion done, and I am in the process of beading this one. So it goes all the way down here. This row has beads, this row has beads, beads. This row is where I'm working right now. Need to finish those beads. And that's it. So, lots of beading. I wanted to make sure all the beads were sort of the glass bead, sparkly, because I did purchase all the beads called for, but some of them were matte. I didn't like that. And then I also want them all to have that shape, because they're not really, they're kind of more delicate beads, more cylindrical than seed beads where they're more round. So I have most of the colors picked out that I like, either Delica beads or shoot, I don't remember. Mill Hill, the small beads, and maybe a different company. Not remembering if Delica beads are Mill Hill beads or if that's a different company. Anyway, doesn't matter. I have most of the colors. I think there's a red and possibly another color in there that I purchased beads for, but I didn't feel like it worked out to match the color of thread very well. And then the other issue I'm realizing is these beads are Mill Hill, and I'm not going to have enough because I still need to finish this. And then also the bead needs to go in this little Jessica row right here. And I'm not going to have enough. And as you guys know, Mill Hills are hard to find right now. So at some point soon, I'm going to have to really look at that again and see where I need to source more beads and work on trying to get those so I can finish. Worst comes to worst, I'll finish it as much as I possibly can, and then, you know, continue working to find the beads I need for the project. Okay, the next one I've actually worked on. I think it's been 2 or 3 years since I worked on this project. Haven't worked a ton on it, just some, and I'm loving it. Love getting back to this one. It's very pretty. This one is my Chatelaine. It's Herbularius, the Medieval Herb Garden Mandala. So this is kind of a water pond in the middle, and then it has all the herbs and plants around. So, to remember which way is up. Okay. So this is where I'm at. I have just been adding some of the blue around on each corner. This corner was done this much, and then I've gone around and added 3 blues to this, 3 blues to that, and I'm in the process of finishing up the 3rd blue on the top. The next thing I'll do all the way around is this little darker, the darkest navy blue with the little points all the way around. These little curlies that are blank are all beaded. So I'll be working on that for a while longer, I think. Give it a little more love and progress. And I also have that slated to be in a rotation throughout the year, so it's not just sitting, not getting worked on, because that's a huge project and it needs to be touched regularly in order for it to ever get finished. The next project number 7, is Victorian Dollhouse by Joan Elliott. This is where I'm at. I worked on this a bit this year. This room's now finished, and I started working a lot on this room. Peter Rabbit's here from the garden. It's a fun stitch. It will also be a WIP for a long, long time. It's a big one. Okay, next is Tilton Crafts Up on the Rooftop. Full coverage. My second full coverage. I have 2 going. This is where I'm at. I think this is 3 or 4 pages completed. I'm not sure. But it just stops down there. So that's looking good. It almost looks sparkly, where like there's a white poking through the navy, but looking at it in person, I don't see all those white spots. I guess it's the lighting. Very cute. This project is slated to get finished this coming year because it's just been hanging out. It needs to get done. It's the Mill Hill Christmas Tannenbaum, or Golden Tannenbaum. It's the Christmas Jewels series. It's basically done. What I need to do is fix the error I made right here. So I need to take out some of these stitches and beads and just fix that area I messed up, and then FFO it so that it's just finished, and I don't need to have it sitting there anymore. Shouldn't take too long. Next is Celtic Winter by Lavender and Lace. I am doing a color conversion to blues and silvers and whites. And this is how far, this is a start. These are all 2023 projects or newer. I am also adding the cloak where she has the hood over her head. It goes over her dress, so that's what this is right here. Next is my stocking. Been enjoying my the stockings I've finished over the last month or so. And the last one that needs to go up on the mantle is mine. I was able to work on this a little bit. I had a trip to Texas, a brief trip to Texas, and I brought this with me. So this has seen some progress since the last video. Here is where I'm at now. So I did a lot of filling in, or some filling in, of any missing stitches around here. And then a lot of background. So these are trees. There's still some colors that need to go in to these trees. But it's looking really good, and it's gonna look really nice once the back stitching is in there. So I have this middle strip going. I've gone all the way from this side to this side, and there's those trees that you saw and a little bit of the background that's right here. My favorite part of this is the Christmas tree that looks glowy with the snowman. There's a lot of nice little parts to this. It's a great Christmas scene. And then let's get to the next pile. Next one after Celtic Winter, or I'm sorry, after that's Sleigh Ride at Dusk. It's a Dimension Gold stocking kit. I have the September Sapphire Fairy for my daughter, Tinsley. She's a September girl. This is by Mirabilia. And I'm stitching this on 32 count Bittersweet Light Jobelan. And I think Jobelan's my favorite fabric, by the way. Jobelan Evenweave. Or Jobelan Linen. Let me see. What does it say? Yeah, it's Evenweave. I like Jobelan Evenweave. This is where I'm at. The bottom of her dress. And this is a restart because I actually started this on a light fabric that I thought was plenty big. But as I got stitching it, I thought, wow, not sure how much extra room I'm going to have for this. I think it would have barely fit, but it would have been hard to FFO. And I got quite far on it. All that middle green strip. And this is blending filament, sparkly Krennic. And so are the little orange tips to the flowers. So I decided to start at the bottom for this, since I already stitched the other part, but I feel like the little orange bits are gonna, they'll pop, and it goes well with this fabric. And then the green and the purple will, it's a nice contrast on the orange fabric. That, it's a little darker right there at the bottom, but there's more light splotches as you go up. So this one's gonna be plenty big for the project. And then next is May's Emerald Fairy for, this one's for Tessa. I think I said Tinsley, I'm not sure, but this is Tessa. Tessa's the September baby. This one's Tinsley. See how I mix their names up all the time? It's tough when you have two little girls and their names both start with a T. So this is Tinsley. Tinsley's the May baby, and it's May's Emerald Fairy. And I did a Mirabilia May, so a lot of Mirabilias are coming up. I got her face done besides the beading. And I did do a little bit more lashes and eyebrows. I changed it just slightly. As far as the shape of her nose, I think, and maybe around her cheek or her chin. I changed it just slightly. But the skin I'm doing 2/1 tent stitch. The blue in her eyes is very bright in person. So she looks so beautiful. It'll be interesting to see how Tinsley's hair turns out as she gets older. Right now it's a very golden, dark golden blonde, I guess, almost a brown, and it's curly, wavy. But this almost looks, well, yeah, it's kind of a golden blonde. So we'll see. And this again was a restart because of the same problem. I started both of these at the same time on the same fabric, and I just thought these fairies were smaller than they actually are. Hopefully I only make that mistake once. Let me see how this even goes. Okay. So I did this much, but of course this is not going to get finished. There's a lot of white stitched here. And then I am going to use some Krennic for the wings instead of it just being the fabric. Give it a little more sparkle. So I'm not sure what to do with these that I started on. Seems kind of depressing to keep looking at them. I am stitching May's Emerald Fairy on 28 count graceful gray linen. Then next is Rapunzel. And I began at the top with the R. There are some beads, I believe, and there's a lot of vines that need to come out. But it was really fun to use the pinks. And then this is acrylic. This in the R, there's some darker red, pink acrylic. Rapunzel is on 32 count Smokey Pearl Belfast. Okay, we're getting close. This is WIP number 15, called Cream and Sugar, which are the teacups. I started with Bloom, and this is stitched on 32 count French lace linen, 2/2. So I did the border, top of the border, and then the little flower on the top. So next we'll be bringing the border down and starting in on the teacup. All right, last Mirabilia is Sleeping Princess. I love the colors in this one. I feel like there's going to be a lot of fun jewels in the chandelier. This is stitched on 32 count blue sapphire linen. And I started in the middle on this one. Okay. So that was my small start for Mirabilia May 2023. I felt like I stitched a lot more on this than what is showing. Okay. So, along with starting all those Mirabilias, my idea in 2023 was to start all the Celtic ladies and start them in the season that we were in. I did Celtic Winter, and then I also was able to start Celtic Spring, but that's as far as I got. So here's what Celtic Spring is charted to look like. And then I am doing color conversion where I'm keeping the purples, but the dress, the front of the dress is going to be right here. Or maybe the whole dress. I don't know. I can't remember what I decided to do there. But this is where I got. So that's her shoulder. And then this is... Oh, yeah. This is the dress on the back. Okay, yeah. There you go. That makes more sense. Okay, so this is the back of her dress. So her shoulder and then the front is going to be purple. And it's supposed to look like a crocus, which is one of the first flowers that pops up in the spring. And my last, I did start and finish some projects in 2023, but this was my last start that was kind of thought of last minute before a trip that I had. I wanted to bring something small. So I had Thankful by Stone Street Stitchworks. And I had some scrap linen, so I decided to go for it. And I was able to get pretty far with this one. Did the whole tree and the 3 pumpkins. Started on the word. I still have quite a bit to go though. So I need to continue with the whole bottom part of Thankful and those half stars or Quakery looking things. And then that whole house, which will be quite a bit of stitching as well. But it's a nice small one to work on that I might be able to finish in 2024. So that's it. My 18 WIPs. And this is when I'll get into the plans. I've been watching the Hugo Stitcher, and she has her Book of Days every time she has a video, and I finally decided I want one too. I want a Book of Days. So I got one, and I even got the sticker book that she showed that I could use in here and in my personal planner. So I haven't written in it. I went through every month of the year, and I broke down it in 5-day chunks. So I'll work on each project for 5 days and then move on to the next. At first I did it in weekly chunks, so it would be 7 days, but I feel like I wouldn't get to touch on projects quite as much doing that. So I reworked it. So what I'll do is I'm gonna go into, I haven't written in here yet. I still have a little bit of time before January, but I'll go in with pencil and write down everything that I'm gonna do, because as you know, things change. So I'll write what my plans are in pencil, and then what actually happens, we'll see. So that'll be fun. So right here, what I'll plan to do is probably write notes on, don't forget to mention this in the floss tube update, or maybe I'll think of a bead that I need to buy. So next time I'm on 1, 2, 3 stitch ordering, I can have like an ongoing little list or something. We'll see. The Hugo Stitcher writes all her WIPs down, but I'm too lazy to write those down every month. So what I decided to do is write it on a piece of paper like this, and then I'll just kind of clip it in the back. And then when I have a new start, I can just add to it. And then, okay, so for example, my January is going to be, well, right now I'm continuing to work on Chatelaine. And then my first 5-day stretch is going to be Chatelaine. And then after that, I'm going to work on Up on the Rooftop. Then I'll work on Celtic Winter. I'm going to have 2 new starts in January. First is going to be this Teresa Wentzler kit that has everything I need in it. So I have that slated to start, and then I think I have it to come up for 2 or 3 more times throughout the year. So it will get a good chunk in there. And then the other thing that I want to start in January is this American Flag Quilt Sampler by Rosewood Manor. And I had no plan of starting this, but I think you all have seen those flags floating around of the different countries, and I believe it's charted by Vivsters, and it is actually a flag sal stitch along, and I didn't want to do that exact flag because I already had this one, and so I thought what I'll do, rather than doing the Vivsters flag, which I have other Vivsters. She's a great designer. I have other patterns by her. What I plan to do is just start, I think it's supposed to begin on January 26th. I'll start on this flag instead. And then it's just a fun one to have on hand to stitch during like 4th of July or September 11th, things like that. So it can get touched pretty regularly each year. It will take a long time though, I believe it's pretty big. And then the last piece that I'm gonna work on in January is the stocking. I'm not gonna go through every single month on what I'm gonna do, but I will just show you the other new starts that I plan to have. Let me get this pile. So this is Lucky Berry by Erica Michaels. So that will be a fun one to start in March for St. Patrick's Day. I didn't get to begin the Summer Quaker this past summer because I didn't have I didn't have my stuff because I accidentally put Bermuda down as the country when I did my order. And you know what happened? When I ordered Book of Days, whatever, I think I ordered Book of Days, and I ordered something else from 123 Stitch. I noticed it was on Bermuda again when I was about to check out. And I thought, oh my gosh, why does that keep happening? So I really have to keep an eye on that. But since I didn't get to start this in the summer 2023, I'm going to start it in summer 2024. Looking forward to that. And then I'm also I'm not going to continue working on the Celtic Ladies. I'm not going to start summer or autumn. But I do want to continue these Welcomes by the Drawn Thread because they're pretty quick stitches. I was able to do Welcome Winter and Welcome Spring and finish those over 2023. So I hope to either finish these or get a good start on these and finish these all up this year. This is Welcome Summer. And then I will have Welcome Autumn. And then for my birthday start, I'm going to do Jeweled Elephant by Shannon Christine. This is just a mock-up, not an actual stitch. I saw this somewhere and loved it. So, looking forward to that guy. And then this will be my Halloween start, trick or treat. Only working on this for 5 days, so it's not something that I think I'll get a lot of progress on, but it's just a fun thing to do. And then last, I am going to start this one, the 5th Celtic Lady, Celtic Noel. Sorry for the glare. The red one. I'm not changing anything about her. She's beautiful. She's the first one I fell in love with. So I'll work on her. I think I have her slated for 10 days in December. So those are my new starts. That's going to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 WIPs. So I'll be up to 27. Possibly though, I will have finishes. I do have focuses. So I definitely, every month, I have either both or one or the other of my full coverages. Because I want to keep making good progress on those. And then I have my Esther's Waves. Esther's Waves is a focus for a finish. And then I also have Peacock Daze is a WIP that I have on the list that I hope to remove from the list. Maybe thankful, and I just hope to make some nice, good progress on all the rest. I don't have any vision of finishing any of those fancy ladies anytime soon. They're quite large. I have to stop starting so many things and work more on those if I ever want to see those finished soon, or maybe in the next year I can have one as a main focus to finish up in 2025. One other thing I wanted to share was a purchase. I was able to find one of my unicorn charts, one that I just have always loved, and it's by Lavender and Lace. It's the Firefly Fairies. And the other, it reminds me of Sleeping Beauty, the 3 fairies in Sleeping Beauty. The other part, though, that it has meaning for me for now, that it didn't when I originally saw it, was that my 3 kids have emerald, ruby, and sapphire as their birthstone. So we got emerald, ruby, sapphire, fairy. Now my son is a boy, but that's okay. So that's really meaningful to me because my channel name is Gemstone Stitches. I'm always thinking about birthstones and things like that. So that's really fun. I just need to find some fabric. I know that Fiber Arts Amy, she sent Sarah the Stitching Mommy a piece of fabric that is kind of meant for this project in particular. And I thought, ooh, that'd be great, because you're supposed to do something with this fabric to get that splotch. I don't remember if it's bleach or something along those lines. And that sounds very scary to me. So, I don't know. We'll see if I even want that splotch on there. I can talk. The one that Sarah showed was beautiful. It just was a little too modeled for my liking. So I'm planning to reach out to Amy and see if she can do one that's a little less modeled, and that could be what I stitch that one on. But I don't have any plans to start it anytime soon, just because I already have plenty going on. And we all know plans can change. They always do. Or you think you're going to get a lot more done than you end up being able to get done. Such is life. Things over here are going well. We just had Christmas earlier in the week, so it's been really fun to play with all the different toys and activities the kids have. My daughter Tinsley has been begging for a Barbie dollhouse for over half the year, and so she finally has it. It doesn't have to be talked about anymore. It's actually here, and her grandmother got her like 5 or 6 Barbies and a Barbie Dreamhouse closet. Oh my gosh, you guys. So many little Barbie parts. So she will be happy as a clam with that for years to come, and her little sister will be playing with it too. Yeah. Things are going good. I did break my leg. Not my leg, basically my ankle. Yeah, it was a random Wednesday, and I I take the kids out to the bus in the morning and drop off my daughter at daycare in the morning. So then my husband will make sure to get the kids from the bus in the afternoon. And I had heard him leave to go meet the kids at the bus stop. And I remembered there's some Christmas gifts at the top of the stairs that hadn't been brought down to the basement yet. And I did not want the kids to see them because the box was open. So I went down to get them and bring them down to the hiding spot before the kids got home. And you never know if the bus is going to be a couple minutes early or how much time you have, because sometimes you pick up the kids and they're already halfway down the street and could be walking in at any second. So I was rushing with these 2 big boxes, and yeah, I missed the last step or 2 on my way down and landed on my toe, and yeah, all that momentum and landing weight went on the tip of my foot, and just, it was very painful at the very beginning, like that first few minutes. I still got all the presents back in the box really quickly, that had flown everywhere, and then I just kind of laid there until people got home to save me. Yeah, so I pretty well knew it was broken because I heard a loud noise, pop, whatever. I didn't know if it was just like a nice bone crack, you know, like cracking your knuckles, like one of those, or if it was actually a break. But I just knew I definitely needed to go get an x-ray because I had a feeling I broke something. And I did. So it was just the best break I guess you could have, as far as it was the very bottom of my fibula, and it was a non-displaced break, meaning it's basically your bones where it needs to be to heal. It's just there's a little crack in it where it broke. So the first, couple weeks were harder because I definitely couldn't put weight on it, and it was a lot more painful. But slowly but surely, I was able to realize I can put weight down on it, and I need to be careful though and not overdo it. I think over Christmas, preparing for Christmas and having people over and things like that, and I was overdoing it, even though it felt okay. But now I'm feeling it be a little sore again, so I think I need to just take it easy and not overdo it. And I have to wear a boot. I don't have to use crutches. I could put weight on it now, but I have to wear a boot until the 6-week mark. And then they'll x-ray it again and see. We'll go from there. Hopefully I'll just heal nicely and I don't have to do any further physical therapy or have any existing long-term issues from this, because I do like to be active, and that would be a big bummer if I have to minimize my physical activity due to it. I know I'm going to have to for a good couple more months, but hopefully by then it will be ready for me to do things on again. We'll see. But other than that, things are good here. I'm excited for 2024. I've been having so much fun just going through the plans, and I'm gonna work with my book of days. I've been doing my personal planner, so I have this all this energy and all these thoughts whirling around in my mind for 2024. So I hope you guys have those same thoughts, or you're having the same fun making your cross-stitching plans. I wish you all a happy new year and happy stitching. Bye.